Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a great honor to invite a dear friend of mine and a great champion for the cause of Palestine working in the United States of America. And it's an honor for me to introduce him towards Aqsa Week podcast and see what they have been doing in America. So Brother Osama, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for joining us. I just want to explore a little bit of the work you've been doing, and in particularly in regards to Aqsa Week.
So our focus, Dr. Ismail, is mainly on the issue of genocide, the genocide that is taking place in Gaza now. But we also understand that genocide is not taking place in isolation. It's taking place because there is an occupation that exists, there is a repression, and there is an attempt to take away and to jeopardize the sanctity of the Aqsa Mosque. We know that the Aqsa is the intensification point of this struggle that represents what this struggle is about. We also understand that the United States is not only complicit in the genocide, but also is complicit in the Judaization of the Aqsa Mosque and Jerusalem in general. So our advocacy revolves around these issues, around the U.S. complicity, around the rights of the Palestinian people, and how the U.S. is perpetuating the subjugation of the Palestinian people and perpetuating the occupation of Palestine and perpetuating the Israeli aggression against Jerusalem, the Aqsa Mosque, and the entire occupied Palestine.
You touch on a lot of points there, but just remind ourselves and our viewers that Aqsa Week coincides with the 27th of Rajab on the night of Isra al-Mi'raj, which this year will be between the 24th of January and the 31st of January. In the past, I know AMP, Association of Muslims for Palestine, American Muslims for Palestine, excuse me, have been doing quite a bit of work around that. Have you found that through holding events in Aqsa Week, you get more people attracted to the cause of Palestine and making people more aware of the issue of Palestine?
Absolutely. The Aqsa represents the third sanctuary in Islam, the first Qibla for Muslims, and the second mosque in terms of establishment. So the Aqsa enjoys a significant status in Islam for every single Muslim. It is a verse in the Quran. Everyone understands this. So when we talk about the Aqsa, it's something that relates to the entire Ummah. I understand that there are these attempts by Zionists and Zionist apologists within Muslims as well, who are trying to either negate or diminish the significance of the Aqsa Mosque in the Islamic conscience. But Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we continue to see that the Ummah continues to rally around the Aqsa Mosque. We continue to see that our community here, the American Muslim community, rallies around the Aqsa. They understand that this is part of their deen. So when we talk about Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj, we're not talking about a Palestinian event. We're not talking only about something that is relevant or of the weight of the Nakba, which is so significant, but we're talking about something that every Muslim can subscribe to. It is their first Qibla. It is their second mosque in terms of establishment. It is their third sanctuary in Islam. It is the land of Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj. It is the land of gathering and spreading out. It is the land of blessings, as the Quran refers to it. So everyone understands the significance. And no matter how the other side tries, no matter how some apologists and complicit within the Muslim world try to diminish this status, it is not working. We see it evident here in America, where you have more freedom to do events and to speak out your mind. We see that the Muslim community, which representative of the Muslim Ummah, is coming in folds, supporting Al-Aqsa and supporting the Palestinian cause and supporting the Islamic significance of this cause in general.
That's really encouraging to hear. of course, also we need to highlight that we have got a dedicated website called Aqsa Week, where people can download khutbahs, talks, ideas to speak to children and so forth, because we've had some very amazing podcast on events of what people are doing around the world during Aqsa Week. When we've had in South Africa telling us that almost every school, Muslim school, have a whole Aqsa Week dedicated where children write poetry and draw drawings about Masjid Al-Aqsa and they get presents. Do we have anything something similar in America going on?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. We, as an organization, as AMP, we make sure that we highlight the Aqsa Week and we highlight the Isra and al-Mi'raj and we highlight the significance of Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa and Palestine. But also we know that our community, our in their localities are doing their own activities. The mosques, the masajid are doing their own activities. The schools are doing their own activities. Our conventions, we don't have one or two, three conventions. We have several conventions, major big conventions like ICNA, which is our brothers and sisters from Southeast Asia. We have MAS, which is mostly Arab. We have AMP, which is mostly Palestinian. So wherever you go, you see that Al-Aqsa is enjoying that status and is being celebrated. And definitely it will continue to be celebrated. Again, because this has nothing to do with us only as an organization advancing this cause, but because Muslims can relate to it. Muslims can relate to it in the Quran, can relate to it in the Hadith, can relate to it in their religion. And of course, they can relate to it in their humanity, because what is taking place in Palestine, what is a form of subjugation, is a form of oppression. What is taking place in Al-Aqsa Mosque is a form of aggression on the sanctity and the sacred place of almost 2 billion Muslims. So everyone connects to this. And yes, alhamdulillah, our local communities, our masajid, our schools continue to celebrate Al-Aqsa and continue to emphasize this lofty status that it enjoys in our conscience as Muslims.
That's really, alhamdulillah, fantastic to hear from you. And, I'll accept all your efforts that you are doing, and let's spread it as well around the world. I won't let you go. I mean, very important thing that's happening in America, and you've already slightly touched on it. What you likely see with Trump coming to power now, the consequences for America, for Palestine and Beit al-Maqdis, and particularly in Masjid Al-Aqsa. What should we be more alert about and be following to make sure that we are a step ahead of any crisis that might unfold?
So let us remember what Trump did in his first term. What he did in his first term is that he acknowledged Jerusalem or recognized Jerusalem as the capital of the state of Israel. He moved the U.S. embassy. Yes, there was a law in that passed in 1995, but no U.S. president acted on that law because they had a waiver for 6 months to defer the decision, and they kept doing that until Trump became president. And at the end of 2017, he recognized Jerusalem as the capital and he moved the embassy. Now we know from the team that he's bringing in that his incoming administration will be more Zionist, more dangerous to Al-Aqsa and to Palestine, because now for him it is a done deal that Al-Aqsa, that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, that Al-Aqsa is a historical place of significance for Muslims, but under the sovereignty of Israel, according to his so-called deal of the century. But what is more dangerous now is that he's talking about the annexation of the West Bank. He's talking about the transfer of Palestinians into either Egypt or Jordan. And he's talking about the annexation of major swaths in Gaza. So yes, Palestine and the Palestinians will be facing more difficult times under his administration. But our role here in America is to continue this fight for justice, to continue this fight to end this complicity of the United States. And we've seen it. Kamala Harris didn't lose only because of Palestine, but Palestine contributed. The genocide that is taking place, the support of Democrats and the support of the Biden administration, which she is a VP in it, contributed to her loss. And we will continue to work for advancing the plight of the Palestinian people. And we're seeing now a major shift in terms of public opinion and a generational shift in America. It's not going to bear fruit tomorrow or after tomorrow in the next few years, but definitely it's going to bear fruit in the next decade. And our role is to accelerate that change and to bridge the gap between the shift in public opinion and the decision-making process. So that's the work that we're doing. Yes, we're facing hurdles, and we're facing challenges, and we're facing threats here in America, but that's our destiny, is to continue for the fight that we believe is just, and to continue to enjoy what is right and to forbid what is wrong.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair for that, Brother Osama, for your time and your efforts and your encouragement and your ideas about Aqsa Week as well. So Allah accept, carry on with your good work, and hopefully we around the globe and the civil society, including the Muslims, can continue building the love of Masjid Al-Aqsa, being attracted to the issue of Palestine, and understand that this is a global issue, and it's issue in particularly for every Muslim because of Al-Aqsa sanctuary. So Assalamu alaikum and Jazakallah once again.
Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for having me.